It's so beautiful. It was the first one I got back. It makes sense too. It's radiant.
We are in April 2018, Sagittarius.
Hi, Sag.
This is your reading for the month.
How are you? How's Aries treating you? You're compatible with Aries.
I know some of you are probably on vacation, or some of you are probably on tour or something.
They be getting on your nerves, but you're compatible.
Always doing something.
Right. Look, the sun came out for you. You know, we're getting into that season where you get to just be outside. You're gonna love it.
You
You're
have
already
a
feeling better.
tendency, like a lot of fire signs, to maybe rub people the wrong way when they first meet you.
Sag, forgive me for that hurtful but accurate thing I said.
But then,
Sagittarius.
sometimes, it's almost like you're that kid on the playground that pinches the kid that you actually do like. You know, you pull the hair of one of the kids that you actually think is cute. Like, why would you even do that?
Did you see me when I did it?
Right? It's like, why would you even do that? I don't know.
Well, you know why you did it. Because you want to stir it up a little bit. But in a mature way.
Right.
It's not just stirring it up just to stir it up. You probably thought about that shit.
But damn, bitch,
thinking about
you
it.
pulled my hair and that hurt. And I didn't see it coming.
No bad. That element of surprise, right?
Okay.
You will go 0 to 60.
And it's so funny
people.
because, like, look at what's at the bottom of the deck after I shuffled. I haven't cut it yet, but the Chariot.
Bring in those emotions.
Right.
Right? So some of you have, like, really wanted to celebrate or have made some major changes. I know I have a couple Sag friends who have made some moves where they've, like, moved in or someone has moved in with them. Several Sages have been telling me that this has been going on this month for them. So how is your relationships going? I think there's some really positive changes that's happened for them.
Mutables. You guys are actually definitely giving us karmic energy.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just did... What did we just do?
We just did an appointment.
We just did an appointment, right. And the world came up for that client. It wasn't a beautiful sign, but it was one of our readings that we just did. Okay.
It's a theme right now.
Mm-hmm.
The World card being there is saying, okay, so this is over time. Definitely. And it's about a completion of something. The end of something. The beginning of something else. It's the last card of the major arcana. So after this, you're going to go into the minor arcana, or you didn't start a new cycle with it. Really, it's just the ending of something and the completion of a maturity of that. Also, it's just over. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of shifts, like a serious change was made or is going to be made, and it's in like an investment of your time and your heart and your energy. Like you had to take a risk. But you're a risk taker, right?
Yeah, talk about risk. Bitch, you got the 8 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. That's risk, but it's risk of the mind. Okay, you're being risky with your thoughts.
Also, 8 of Swords is like you could be just, expanding that. The Jupiter is your ruler.
Right.
So you could just be expanding in the thoughts too much about what the possibilities of could go wrong, I feel like.
This is a very airy reading, okay? You got some swords here. You got the 2 of Swords. You've got the 8 of Swords. You got the 5 of Swords. And you've got the 7 of Swords. But you do have the Mother of Swords.
And the immediate influence, right.
So that's good.
So you're seeing things as they are right now, and that's good. Like, that is good, exactly.
Right. Even with
so whatever the conflicts are that may arise, you have a keen eye. You're giving me, you can see it for what it is, and that's good. What's crowning you, and the goal is the moon. So this is definitely, overall, we're talking about things that you're dealing with on your own. That maybe a lot of people don't know about. So it's not necessarily stuff to do with work.
There's some
stuff.
really good things happening here, even with, the 8 of Swords. Because the 8 of Swords is speaking to it not really being as much as you are blowing out of proportion. You know what I mean?
Right.
Overwhelmingly.
Well, I think it's just the disquiet. You're kind of like, you're worried that things aren't going to work out in a certain way in your mind. And it's almost like just the plague of that. It's not really anything at all. You just made the changes, like I said, or you're going to make certain changes. And you are flexible with things, but I think it's the anxieties. You know, many Sagittarius are deep sleepers and deep dreamers, right? Because it's the philosophy of things, and you know, that whole energy is really Sagittarius energy in general. So, you know, the long haul and the endurance to have goals to do stuff and move places and become people, it's really a lot coming from the subconscious. You are the last fire sign. So fire is spirit. So this is a very mature spiritual energy, And so this is a very like knowing yourself in deeper ways, in much deeper ways, and really opening up to that.
So
don't be afraid of like letting someone in, first of all. Don't be afraid of, because it is the opposite of like that Virgo letting go energy. This is Pisces, it's exalted at the top. So it's kind of like the sharing of emotions with someone. And now this person is going to see all of my behaviors that I don't want to show necessarily. And it's like the whole, don't make me love you, oh, but I want to love you kind of balance between the two.
You, so just to explain this spread, at the top left-hand corner, this is the element of air. Right underneath that, you're going to have the element of water for the home, you know, in those close relationships. And just over to the bottom right, across from the home, we've got work. And at the top, we've got, you know, your passions, your drive, your fire. And in each of these places, you have a card that represents the sector that, you know, is here. And in the fire house, your card is there, Mercury and Sagittarius. And we'll get into all of that. But you've got some Taurus energy here. You know, you've got the moon in Taurus. You've got the actual Mother of Pentacles, which, you know, is Capricorn or Taurus. You know, it's Capricorn, but Taurus can definitely get into that energy. And then
been
the
working
moon.
At being the wifey. Working at it. Working.
Right.
I work hard.
The moon, and the moon is exalted in Taurus. And you got the moon and the moon in Taurus in the reading. So let's get into it.
Let's dive in. All right. So, the World card being here is basically the overall theme is the significator. Like, this is all meant to be, whatever is happening.
Right. It's karmic.
Whatever is happening, whatever lessons are being learned over time with these situations in your life, it's all pulling you to the place that you're supposed to be going. Right? Horse, where are you running to? Right?
You're being led, right? You're being led through this karmic lesson. And you're Sagittarius, and you don't really like to be led. You just like to go,
because it's the Minotaur, so it is, you know, it is a man. We were talking about this earlier and how intimidating that can be, just like, you know, think about a horse and how powerful it is and how dangerous a human man is. And now you're going to combine those two energies together.
And it's the mind that is really getting to you here, because you have more swords than anything. You even have the Father of Swords. I negated to even say that, but you have the Father of Swords here as well.
And maybe that's kind of like also hinting at the idea that if a lot of cups aren't showing up in that way, it's because you guys are really starting to feel fulfilled, you know, at home in certain ways, or with yourself, a lot of you, or there's an attention on the home, and it's caused a lot of feelings to come up, well, for some of them it could be just like the changes of it in general.
There's like someone said something that really got to someone, and it's almost like it's beyond repair. You know what I mean? Sometimes words cut deep. And Sagittarius, you guys are known for so you know how to really get to someone and hurt them.
And you might have been trying to do that because of changes, like you're trying to, you know, be, you know, set your place, right? And be like, this is what it is. And the establishment of something be it a relationship or be it work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting like, in the home life, maybe you have a wish. It's like you want it to be a certain way. And maybe you are being too mentally fixed. You could be, because there is conflict there. With that it's like that's Venus in Aquarius. So it's like the beauty for some of you, you could look at this a couple of different ways, because this card means so many different things. You could just be having beauty with an Aquarius, like Venus and love. So you could have love with that person, and now this accumulation of the emotions is there, and that's all good, and it's all going good for you. It could be
Go ahead.
There's conflict here. And I'm always feeling like I gotta get to this place with you. And my beauty is going out, and I'm feeling like really an accumulation of emotions. Like it's time for me, Sagittarius. You always want to get up and go. So you're like, is that going to be the manifestation of it? This one more cup is going to make this kind of like. But like with this Eight of Swords at the bottom, it's kind of like you're doing this to yourself. Like whatever's going on, a lot of it is like you're doing it to yourself. And because I'm getting the Six of Cups energy, it could be almost like you're feeling nostalgic about a past relationship, and you're comparing the new things that you got going for you with the past thing, and make sure that you let that go. You definitely, you know what I mean? Because this is kind of like being nostalgic in the heart. And maybe some new things are reminding you of some past things that aren't serving you anymore. And you need to like let that go. Or it could also be family related. For some of you, like the family is just having too much weight on your life right now. And you need to kind of like free that up. It could also be expectations of that. Or Sun in Scorpio is like deeper emotions growing somehow. You weren't prepared for that, and maybe it's getting deeper and deeper and deeper. In a way that people can't see on the outside. This is water. This is spirit. So this is like how you feel in yourself. And you have Pisces crowning the whole reading, the moon.
It's almost like, I feel like, the moon is exalted in Taurus as well. And Venus is in Taurus right now. You got the moon in Taurus in the reading. In the home sector, you do have the Mother of Pentacles and the Father of Pentacles, or the Father of Swords. Those are two people in the home. I'm thinking maybe you probably even moved in with someone, and now that you guys have this home together, it's like, you gotta love the one you're with by also being able to think like them at some points, because you almost want to be able to anticipate what they might need. This is coming from a Libra too. Anticipate what they might need. So you should know, Sag, going into it, that you can't just be, slick-tongued and sharp-tongued and have that happen. It's like, even when you look at this card and the way that it's set up, there's some balance in it, right? It's even on both sides. If you split it up, there's just as many swords on both sides. There's the one coming through the middle. And then, I'm going to show them. And then there's like the one card coming down through the middle for like, bam, the thickest one, the sharpest one, probably double-edged. Bam, the slander, right? It's something you're like, oh, this can't be repaired, that thing you said. But it can be. You have Jupiter in Pisces right here. You need to know how to apologize too, right? So don't be unapologetically you when you know that you need to be apologizing for something just because, Sag.
You've got Eight of Wands as well. Eight of Wands in the heart area too. So it's like compared with, that's you. Eight of Wands, which is Mercury and Sagittarius. So it's like how you're communicating your deeper feelings, right? And some of the more difficult things about maybe that you, Sagittarius, emotionally blocked, don't naturally want to talk about those feelings unless you have water placements that are strong. It's going to be not the easiest thing for you to want to do.
You want share, you don't want to just be that person that you think people respects. You want to also allow people in so they can see vulnerable parts of you. Right?
You're accustomed to being on the offense. Right?
For sure.
But in your mind, well, a lot of you are really weighing out the need for intimacy.
Right.
Because you've got that, the moon in Libra there.
And the moon in Taurus.
And the moon in
Whoa.
Taurus. So it's Venus, period. So it's
Whoa.
basically saying like your emotion, like you're thinking about love and beauty right now. And like how I can like have the relationship actually manifest itself.
Right.
And you're putting work into it because you guys are seeing the ideal of like, it's the Father of Swords, which is like the King of Swords, right? Which is that Aquarius, Libra-like energy. And then you have the Capricorn, Taurus mother, right? The manifestation of the wifey. So there, you know.
And the father there, too.
And the father,
The other archetype, I won't say masculine or feminine, but if there's masculine, then there's feminine, and it's represented here, right? Both of them. And both of you have something different to offer to the relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like once you're able to recognize that, and you come to that place of being able to share those deeper parts of you and not just being so external with things sometimes, then you'll actually get to a place where you're doing better.
A lot of you want a family. A lot of you are thinking about like feelings are welling up in that sense, and I think it's just the changes and fluctuations of what it means to become to be running and to be doing those things like of self, right? Which is like so Sag to live and do what they love, but also to be able to have a family.
Oh, wow.
And like have a life that is rooted and emotional. And what does that mean for a Sag to have someone to come home to and have them accept them for who they are?
You're thinking about that, right? It's like the Mother of Swords, this Libra, this airy energy, this Aquarian energy is perched right here on top of the World card, looking at the perspective of what this thing means to you, this relationship that you have harvested, right? Because it is about the harvest. You got the Six of Pentacles here, and you got the Mother of Pentacles. You've manifested this thing, and it really exists. So it's like, how are you going to bring balance into it? Now, you got so many things in this reading that look like balancing acts. The Two of Swords here. The Moon card has 2 trees in it. Manifestations. 2 solid people together, living side by side.
Yeah, it's a lot of you guys like actually are like just starting a new level.
Right.
You could be starting, something new with someone, or just have, but like you're starting just like a new level. It seems like it's like a new level.
Right. It's working, but you're experiencing some things.
Right, and I think it's all in just like, it's all in just what it means to experience this. And it's like so many questions that come up in your mind because you guys are in a very airy place right now in your lives. So you're thinking about a lot, and I think it's because you're going through something internally about your emotions and like what is happiness and defining that for yourself and walking in it because you're working at the manifestations of that, and people are seeing it as well. So it's kind of like, don't worry about what people think. You're really not into that, but it does affect you at times. How people treat you affects you a lot. So being honest with yourself about that, but not making it like...
But how you treat people too.
Right. You get to that place where you're like, why do I feel like a martyr a lot? Well, you got to think about your delivery with certain things.
Yeah.
Because that's why you get misread in that way. Because you think honesty for honesty's sake is great. And it is. But it is about how you say things sometimes. And especially with your mate. So, like with people who really matter to you.
It's like it's like what we were saying at the beginning. Like, when the kid is on the playground and they pull the hair. It's like, you like this person, obviously, you guys live together, you're having in this relationship, or if you're not living together, you guys spend time, a lot of it, with each other at whoever's place you're at that time, right? But then there's also, like, a little bit of cattiness there, and it's saying, just kind of, like, chill with that.
Yeah, and be fair. I think you need to be fair. I mean, because you got this Mercury and Sagittarius, which is the spirit too, like wands are spirit and growth, And it is a positive change of mind.
Yeah, this is
you
an
know?
opportunity. There.
Yeah, like it's like, you know, this is female magician energy. So the strength is the union and the recognition of that, right? And then you got the 6 there, which is like 6 of Scorpio, which is Sun in Scorpio. So it's the awareness of the deep emotions. Right? And the more and more you look at how you truly feel about this person or how you feel about this situation, there is karmic lessons to be learned here in that, right? Right? And that's why that queen is there too.
Right. This is a solid relationship.
Mhm.
It's just that you guys know each other so well.
Right.
Right? But it's like, when you know each other well, you should probably express those parts of you that no one else can express to the other person because they're not in the same experience with anyone else. You see what I'm saying? It's really important.
I think, yeah, just communicate
Yeah.
more. And, you know, like, and rest from this, like, idea of strife. Everything isn't going to be what you want it to be, and everything is going to be what they want it to be either. You need to weigh it out, you know, and your mind just be fair. You know, Libra is about being fair, and the Hierophant is also about being fair.
Yeah.
You know, it's about that mercy and the ritualism of, okay, so this is what okay, so this, we got to communicate what it is, right? Because you already know how you are.
Okay.
So it's like, you need to learn how they are too, and then you'll know where boundaries are and all of these things. You won't be plaguing each other with this, that, and the other, and idiosyncrasies, right?
You know.
But it's overall, it's positive. It's good because you are in a place where you can do this,
Right.
which means, like, there aren't too many, like, you know, yeah, you might be having a few work issues here or there,
Right.
but, you know, like with love and stuff,
No
I'm
one
seeing
else
some
is
really
right.
positive, like,
This
developments.
is between you two guys, so it'll be easily dealt with. There's no outside influences from other people, really, that are coming in and, you know, trying to affect you guys. So this is good, Sag. You know, you just be a little bit softer sometimes. See the softer side of Sears.
Okay, Sag. All right, I think Taurus season will be really wonderful for you, and, like, get out there and enjoy the sun. You can run around in the field and just do you. Travel with your mate, go on some dates. You'll be feeling better.
Yeah.
You know, just stay outside and keep having adventures with that person, because you know you get stir crazy, and now you've made these changes to commit.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that you've lost any part of yourself in that, okay?
Right.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.